Hi guys, I'm Jenny Hensley, co-owner and effectiveness coach with Dynamics, and we are super excited to have Luna, a recurring guest, and who's with us?
Tom Fry.
And the co-owner of Dynamics, Tom Fry, who's super psyched to be here. And it didn't take us an hour to get this set up. We are sharing with you a couple of our favorite things, our two favorite ways to begin meetings. So today we're going to start by just talking about how to start a meeting. And we start every meeting with a centering. So Tom, can you tell them a little bit about what a centering is?
Yeah, so there's some research that shows that if you can get participants engaged within the first 15 minutes of a meeting, they're going to be much more engaged throughout the meeting. So a centering is just a way to allow people to let go of all those things that might be occurring in their lives. Maybe they had a hard time getting to your meeting, or maybe the start of the day was a little stressful. So they can set all those things aside and focus in on the topic of the meeting. And so as the facilitator, it gives you the opportunity to either preview maybe what you've already done previously, or give them a review, or preview what you're getting ready to do, or review something that you've talked about previously.
Yes, and I think something that we make sure people know is what a centering is not. And a centering is not just a fun activity that is kind of fuzzy and doesn't have anything to do with the content. It should have something to do with the agenda, the content, or your goals for the group. So we're going to start with Tom's favorite, and I'm going to click through the PowerPoint while he's talking about it. And your favorite is?
So my favorite centering is rate your understanding. I think it's a great centering because it gives an opportunity for you to get a sense of what level of understanding your participants have of the topic. Some people may be very expert, where others maybe are very novice. And so what I first have them do is I give the prompt, maybe rate your understanding. Let's say I'm getting ready to lead something on teacher level value added data. And so I want to get a sense of around the room, where is the expertise, or what level there might be within the room. It's going to help me to adjust what I do as a facilitator, because if I have a lot of expertise, then I'm going to go beyond the need to know stuff into nice to know stuff. But if it's the opposite, then I can just adjust on the fly. So I'll have people first write down their level 1 through 4, and then I'll also ask them to write down an explanation of why they believe they're at that level. Now, depending on time, I may just have them show by their fingers, what their level is, 1, 2, 4, whatever it might be. But if I have more time, I'll wrap this into introductions. So they'll give their name, their role in the district, and then on top of that, they'll explain they'll give their rating and explain why. So it's just a nice way for everyone to get a sense of the expertise around the room. And as a facilitator, it's very helpful for me.
I think the other piece is that you could change the wording on these. And we have these shared in the show notes so that you can download the PDFs and use them in your actual presentations. But if you wanted to use this one, but you can also change the words, and you can also, the hope with both of these processes is that you'll adjust what you're doing based on the needs of the group. You may need to tweak things, you may need to move things on the agenda, but both of these processes we're going to share give you that opportunity to know where the group is.
Another great thing about this process for me is that I can also wrap it into my closing. So I can now ask the question again, give them time to first think about where they would rate themselves, write down their reason why, and I can see what kind of improvements occurred as a result of the time that we've had together. So it's just a way that you can help sort of tie things back together at the end, as well as your centering.
And I'm just clicking through the presentation. We have a membership site, and we are going to be sharing several of these. You have the opportunity to, in the show notes, you'll be able to get 5 of our favorites, but we have hundreds in our membership site. But they all look like this. So they give you an actual presentation you can put in yours, and then this last page shares some specific notes for the facilitator. So that's our first one.
And of course, with any of these, you can always feel free to, our website's on there, and you can always reach out to us at contact@dynamicsllc.org. If you're having a specific question, we're more than happy to help anybody work through maybe a centering or a closing activity for any meeting that they're having.
Okay, so my favorite is hopes and frustrations, or here we call it hopes, or sometimes we call it hopes and fears. It is a process that we really suggest that you use with a new group or with a group that you know there's a lot of underlying issues. Again, it's just like the last one, that it helps you take the temperature of the group and see where everybody is. You share, in this case, what's one thing that frustrates you the most and what's one thing that you hope to learn. By doing this, it lets people share exactly what they're thinking in a safe group. Everybody's going to be sharing it, so they know that they're going to be saying it out loud. You do, as we often talk about, you allow them time to jot the hope and fear down so that they have time to think. And then we go around, and this also, we work it into introductions. So we have everybody go around quickly, share their name and their biggest fear, and we chart those. And then we go back around and have everybody share their biggest hope and chart those as well. We end with hope so that we end on a positive note. Exactly the same as you shared with the last process that you shared. This one we chart it so that we can talk about frame what we're going to be talking about in the meeting, show how we're going to meet their needs, and then just like you said, we can revisit it again at the end of the meeting and show them that we did in fact deal with the things that were important to them, or share with them we didn't get to this or that, and tell them how we're going to deal with it.
Some other things with hopes and fears specifically is that often you can, as you create those charts, you can use that information either to help update someone who missed the meeting, so they get a sense of the kind of things that were coming out as a result of the meeting. It also is something you can circle back to maybe for the next several meetings as you work to address either those frustrations or continue to work through whatever the process is, assuming that the topic you're on your agenda maybe isn't a one-day topic, but it's something that you're going to be recurring and coming back several times.
So those are our two favorite centering activities. We hope that they will help you and that you can use them in your meetings. Again, please like and share with anybody who you think this might help, especially the people who plan and facilitate your meetings, because our goal is to help you reclaim your time so you can reclaim your life and love your job again. And thank you, Tom, for agreeing with such enthusiasm to be a part of the video.